Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's time for another client build, and this time it's a total surprise. My client likes Cybertrucks, and I have recently made a Mad Max style piece, so now it's time for something different. My wife showed me the NASA manned Rover concept vehicle, and I immediately knew that that was the direction I wanted to take this custom. So I'll drill, tap, and strip the truck like I normally do. I know the truck looks like it's already bare metal, but there's a clear coat that I want to remove so the new paint adheres properly. Once the bodywork's done, it's time to place the 3D printed parts I created using some Star Bond permanent adhesive. That looks pretty good and even. Now I'll prime the truck. Once the primer dries, I'll apply my first coat of white paint. After several days of curing, I'll sand everywhere I can reach with 800 grit sandpaper. I'll also file off some supports that I didn't notice before. This is the best time to do it since I've got a second coat to apply. In the future, I'll probably sand the prime coat so that all of my base coats are smooth and don't need any extra work. After that, I'll rinse and allow to dry before applying my second coat of white paint. At this point, the paint has cured for well over a week, and it's time to add the details. I'll start with this black Posca paint pen. I want to color the top of these specimen collection chambers black. I quickly realized that these pens are too thick to get into the nooks, so I grabbed the brush pen from my micro liner set to get down in there. I'll follow up with the Posca pen to clean up the tops and edges. I'll color the robotic arm joints before switching to the gold pen. And I'll use the gold pen on the side windows and camera lenses. I'll make one last switch to red to top the collection chamber handles, and I'll go over those several times to make sure the red stands out. Now it's time for decals. I resized an image of a solar panel to fit the top of the module and printed it on waterslide decal paper. I'll use a Q-tip to push out any water trapped under the decal. I also printed out some other NASA logos that I'll apply the same way. Now I'll paint on a windshield bezel and lock it all in with clear coat. Pretty pleased with how it's turning out so far. Now for the diorama base. Off camera, I used drywall mud to create the planet's surface and broken mortar bits for the rocks. I mixed red, brown, and orange to get the Mars look and dry brushed some brown for the beaten path. Now I'll seal it in using some watered down Mod Podge. I'll drop some into this cup, add a tiny bit of water, and then I realize I don't have a good mixing tool, so I just use my fingers. Now I'll pour some of that on top and use the applicator brush to spread it out thin, making sure I get it in all the nooks and crannies. This will dry clear and the streaks will blend away, so it's pretty forgiving. Now you just let it sit to dry, which doesn't take too long at all. And here is the end result. It's got this eggshell or semi-gloss look that kind of looks like it's embossed leather or something. I showed my client the images and asked if he liked it clean to look like it just landed, or dirty to look like it's been exploring the Martian surface. They chose the dirty option. So I'll mix some brown, orange, and red paint in a blister pack, then compare it to the base I made. This looks close, so I think I'm comfortable applying this dirty coat. I'll dip the brush, then wipe most of the paint off on another surface. Here I'm using a paper towel. This will allow me to sort of dust the paint onto the truck. I'll do this a few times until I'm happy with the effect. I'll repeat the dusting with black and gray to add depth. I'll also dirty up the tires. Now I need to dirty the windshield. To do that, I'll cover it with tape, then use a makeshift compass to draw a line where the wiper would be. Then I'll outline it, remove the tape, cut the shape out, put it back on, then dry brush. I'll lock in all these new details with one last coat of matte clear. And here's the finished product. Now all that's left to do is pack it up nice and snug, then ship it off to its new home. If you're thinking of starting to customize your own diecast cars, I hope this video helps motivate you to start your first project. Anything can be anything if you just let your creativity lead you. Thanks for watching.